any longer. Nonetheless, taking the time to personally disciple others due to the faith. And this attitude and behavior has greatly impacted the outreach of his light shining through every believer to the world at large. In my experience, I found that one of the primary issues believers have with their faith walk and living out the principles and functions of what they learn from Scripture is comprehension and then execution. Either we find ourselves looking for what is written in Scripture and was left on record for our learning to literally manifest in our lives today exactly as it presents in the Word, when in actuality, in many cases, we should deduce a figurative meaning and application for ourselves today. It said one thing then, but it was left on our record and we should apply it in a different manner because the world is different and the world that we live in has changed. Or, beloved, we totally miss the things spoken in the Word that every believer should take and apply to their lives literally and principally walk in them daily, meaning that when we should in fact take something as it is written, it applies then the way it applies now the way it applied then. And we completely miss that. It goes over our head. Due to the fact that the world of Christendom and literal church congregations today and assemblies, for the most part, have become so agenda-driven. Does anybody out there in the landscape know what I'm talking about? The focus has been shifted from individual outreach and the discipleship of new converts to the faith to the equivalent of an individualized, more self-serving approach to faith and faith practice for each and every individual. And then all of these separate agendas that people have, all of this narcissism, all of this self-promotion and self-focus and self-center, all these separate agendas attempt to rally together once or several times a week under one roof, or maybe online if you're virtual, attempting to work on a singular theme and agenda set forth from the pulpit. And the results, beloved, are often chaotic, to say the least, which ultimately alienate outreach efforts and is literally prolonging our stay on this earth, much to the delight and chagrin of our adversary, Satan. Placing the very elect of the Most High in jeopardy, as the Christ warned could happen in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 22, for example. Some of y'all like prolonging our days on the earth. I ain't trying to go nowhere. I wish I could live forever. Listen, not here. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 22, referencing when Christ was talking to the disciples, and he said, if it wasn't for the shortening of the days, the very elect would be lost. We can't stay here forever and continue to put off all of the attack that's coming to our flesh and to our mind and to our spirit. So we, as the followers and messengers of the Most High, believers, need to disciple and thus spread outreach to this world so that people from all four corners of the globe can witness the light and witness the good news of the gospel, and then ultimately bring time itself on this earth to a demise for the sake of the salvation of our very souls.